Hey there, Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with energy to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. Today we are going to cover the Moon Astrology for the week of June 8th through the 15th and 14th and the June 15th through the 21st, which includes that eclipse that we're having, the new moon eclipse that we're having in the sign of Cancer at 0 degrees of Cancer, which is very powerful. I tried to channel messages earlier this morning, and what I was getting was a message for the collective. I will put it in the description box below. It is about the eclipse season. I put that video out on May 30th, so it's already out there. You may have already seen it. So I wanted to get messages for you in a different way. So I am using the Fairy Tale Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. And so you have, interesting, you have the juniper tree, which is about deception. And the wild swan, which is about dedication. And dedication to something that you really want brings it into you, returns it to you, it transforms a situation. But this deception card, I'm not familiar with this particular story. Oh, wait, I think I do know which one this is. Okay, yes, so this is the story about a shoemaker who remarried, and the stepmother, the evil stepmother, didn't like one of the children and killed him. Yeah, right. All right, so the meaning is greed must be dissolved. Do not act out of anger or resentment. Do not be impulsive. Compassion is rewarded. Cunning to shift blame, which is never a good thing, so don't do that. Magic reveals the truth. Love and tenderness saves us all. And the magical power of the innocence of children being reclaimed and resurrection and a second chance at life. And so this picture shows a swan, right? And so I feel like this is a transformation. I think dedication to your childhood dreams, to your inner child, to the things, the soul-crushing things that happened when you were younger, that the dreams and the hopes that you had that were crushed, that were destroyed, the deceptions that you are not worthy, you are not valuable, you are not what you're supposed to be or who you're supposed to be. Those are all the lies and the deceptions that kill the inner child. And here's your opportunity to step into your power, to say, I am dedicated to reclaiming the power of my innocence, the innocence of my inner child. I resurrect my dreams, and I am going to move forward with them. Oh, wow, what a message. Okay. Whew. All right. That was intense. Let's go ahead and get into the week ahead, the next 2 weeks. So I am going to timestamp these so that we have, you can just skip ahead if you would like to the second week, and if you don't want to watch it all right now. Okay, so the first week, June 8th through the 14th, we walk into the week with the moon in Capricorn. And we just came off of on Friday that eclipse in Sagittarius, which said, go ahead, now is the time to release those self-limiting beliefs, those things that people have told you that don't fit with you, that isn't who you are anymore, those long-held beliefs. And so that feels like that whole deception, the deception of truth of who you are and your value in the world, to go ahead and release that negative thought pattern. That stuff has no power over me anymore. And then with Capricorn, it's regaining our balance, because when something we've hung on to, we've clung on to, even if it wasn't good for us, is taken out of our life, we feel a little unstable. And so stepping into the principles of what we believe in and who we are and what we want to create for ourselves helps to bring in the balance. And what's really interesting is you have the conscious consumer. So if you have Taurus strong in your chart, I believe they also receive the conscious consumer. It says you have the power to heal, to help the world with your decision to buy only products and services that are ethical and environmentally friendly, fair trade, organic, purchase only what you need. When I see conscious consumer, and while I think that's really important, and it's always important, I definitely do, but the message I generally get from this card is more of, what are you consuming? What are the words that you're taking in? We're in Gemini season. It's all about words, right? So it's about communication. So are you watching too much negativity, difficult stuff on social media? in the media? Are you having negative self-talk? Are you playing those tapes over and over and over in your head? The people that say nasty, horrible things to you, like you're not good enough, that aren't true. This whole last 18 months was all about loving ourselves and stepping into our own personal power and sovereignty of loving ourselves and being nurturing to ourselves and taking care of ourselves, because somewhere along the line that was lost. But you find it for yourself. And so I really want to encourage you to consider, what you're taking in all forms, what you eat, how you talk to yourself, what you're buying, what are your principles, and how do you bring balance back into your life, into the world around you? Because as you balance out your life, you start to balance out your immediate surroundings, your community, your larger community. It starts spreading out like dropping a pebble into a still pond. So it starts with loving yourself and balancing yourself and allowing that to overflow into the community. And so maybe you have reached that balance, and so now the conscious consumer says, okay, well, now that you understand that, it's time to let that out and start spreading that throughout. So Mercury's in shadow right now, and so this is about a time to focus on your ongoing projects, to bring balance into that. Where are you putting your energy and effort in? Is it paying off? If not, where can you redirect your energy and effort so that what you're putting out, you're receiving back in an equal, balanced way? Rebalancing your life is very, very important. Okay, so the moon's going to move into Aquarius, fellow earth sign, fellow air sign. And for you, that is you're in your 5th house of fun and romance. That is creativity. That is self-expression. That is the joy and the happiness and finding that how do you feel joyful energy. It's very solar plexus. And so there's this change happening. There's this tension because it's going to come into a square, which is a hard turn. It's a hard right angle with Uranus, which is over there in Taurus. And it's all about noticing the tension around the change and how does that encourage you to break your bad habits. So let's say it's negative self-talk because you heard these things and you're playing around in your head. So learning to not say negative things about yourself, but to only speak about yourself and others in a very positive way. This creates a new method. It creates a new routine. It could be something about work. The way you were doing it before doesn't work, and now that you've had to start sheltering in place and working from home, maybe you've created a new work habit. There's new methods, new ideas, things that are working. So you were challenged to move out of complacency and to look at things from a different perspective and find the beauty in the new. Because when you look at this, what do you see? Do you see flowers and butterfly, right? If I get it really close, that's pretty much what you see. But as you back it off, then you start to notice, wait, it's really a face. And so it's about noticing the beauty in the transformation. See all the butterflies? There's beauty in the transformation that is going on. There is the understanding that as you are being clipped and cut back the dead wood out of your life, as you remove things, there's new growth happening, and you are resilient. And you are resilient. You will bounce back bigger, better, and stronger. And you are being encouraged to be in the flow, to go to the sea. There's a lot of repeat cards, but that was from a different reading, but I don't remember which one. It does not matter. You should always check out your sun, your moon, and your rising, because there are different aspects of you that will be triggered by different events that's going on with the different planets. And so your sun sign, that's your perception of the world. It's how you view the world. With your rising sign, that's how the house is set up. That's how the interaction happens. That's how things start, manifesting in your life. It's their personality. It's what people see when they look at you. I heard a reader talking yesterday, and she was like, well, I have 2 earth children, but they're so totally different. Well, I'm guessing the rising signs are in different elements. So, it's how the world is going to perceive you. And then, wow, look at all those cards coming out. And then your moon sign is how you feel about it. And feelings are going to be really important as we move into this Cancer season. So we're coming out of Gemini at the end of this time and moving into Cancer, and you have that eclipse happening in Cancer. And so right now it's about what you think about it and your connection to it. Gemini is in your 9th house of higher learning and knowledge and connection to spirit, and then it'll be moving into the realm of how do you feel about it. And so as you go through things and these changes happen, and some things are harder than others, that moon's going to get into Pisces at 5:32 a.m. on Thursday. That's Eastern Daylight Time, and that is about that emotional release. It is a chance to let go of the pain, the hurt, understand that you are reaching for the wisdom, the knowledge, the lessons that were gained. It is a chance for you to escape into the future that you want to create. What do you want to create? It says expecting miracles, standing firm, and savoring the pleasure. This is about you creating a life that you want, that you desire, that you deserve. Miracles are blossoming in my life. I am noble, brave, and strong. That's how you talk to yourself. That is how I am noble, brave, and strong. I am manifesting miracles in my life. That is how you talk to yourself. That is how you get things to move in the direction you want. On Saturday, the moon is going to move into Aries at 5:03 p.m. So Saturday evening, Sunday, and into Monday, we have the moon in Aries. And the moon in Aries is a little frustrated because it wants to be moving. That is in your 7th house partnership. That wants to be moving forward, but it feels like everything's ground to a big halt. Well, it kind of is, because Mars, that rules Aries, is still in Pisces, and it's in Pisces until the 29th of June. And so things are slow and sluggish. And this eclipse is at the end of next week is really going to start pushing things forward. And then Venus, that rules your sign, moves forward. She's in retrograde. She moves forward on the 25th, and then Mars starts moving into Aries, and so then we have all this shifting and changing, and then the energy starts picking up and moving forward. So right now, you're being asked to look at the potential. I know that it feels slow and sluggish, but pay attention to the potential. There's beauty in that. So count your blessings. Count the blessings of the people that came into your life that taught you the really freaking stupid hard lessons that you really hated, because you learned something. You learned something of value. You learn to value yourself. You learned to value whatever skills or knowledge or information. You learn to value compassion shown toward others, right? Like, it would have been nice if people would have been a little less critical. So you learn to be less critical. And you're being guided and protected throughout this process by Spirit. Guided and protected. As you shift the way of thinking, as you start planning ahead, as you start to recharge for the journey ahead when we come out of the slower energy. Excuse me. Maybe a little too much incense. Maybe just a smidge. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the next week. And see what we have here. So we start off with June 15th through the 21st. We start off with that moon in Aries, right? The moon is in Aries. Meant to keep this out. The moon is in Aries. So it's that understanding that everything is in a state of potential, but what needs to be happen right now is to start pushing through the resistance. And this is not pushing against the resistance of divine timing. You aren't going to win that fight. This is about pushing through your resistance of being in flow with Spirit. This is pushing through your resistance to trying to control things, and to surrender to the divine and the divine timing, and understand that life isn't happening to you, it is happening for you. And I think it's about pushing through the crap that people have said about you that you thought was true, and allowing yourself to transform into that beautiful swan. This is your time for transformation. This is through devotion to yourself, to your inner child, to your dreams of your childhood, to the dreams you have now. Like, they don't have to be the same dreams you had when you were a kid for them to be valid. They could be the new dream and the new paradigm that you're in but it's about tapping into that joy of the new child, of the inner child, right? I went for a walk in a woods yesterday in a place I'd never been before. Boy, it was magical for so many reasons. But I got to this one spot where there was this big old tree that had fallen across the path, and I could see that there was still path on the other side. But it was going to require a lot of scrambling, and I'm like, I don't know if I should do this or not. And my inner child said that you would not have let that stop you when you were younger. And I thought, oh, that's true. I used to live in the woods. So I took the hand of my inner child and we climbed over, and it was so worth it. Because down and around the corner, I came across where the rapids were in the creek. It was totally worth going. I was really glad I was pushed. And so I had to push through the resistance to maximize the option for potential of what I was going to see that day, right? Of chasing down my dreams. So you're really being encouraged to do that. On Tuesday, the moon moves into Taurus. The moon in Taurus is at 5:35 in the morning, Eastern Daylight Time. This is about negotiating with yourself that what you really want is peace. And you find it through the breath. You find it through meditation, yes. But mostly you find it through surrendering to the transformation. See the butterflies? Surrendering, releasing your need to control how this transformation into the SWAN takes place. Allow spirit to be in flow with spirit. Allow spirit to move you down the stream into the direction that you want to go, the flow of the divine. It's surrendering to divine timing and understanding that, oh, wow, God, these are amazing. Okay, first off, you have the vulture spirit. Nothing is wasted. You're not wasting time. You haven't been wasting time. You've been learning. You've been growing. You've been incubating. I just saw like an egg in an incubator and the chicken like tapping its way out. You've been incubating. You are not alone. You have outer spirit. You're never alone. Is what it says. You are never alone. Spirit is always there, even when you can't see. In the dark, spirit is there. The light is inside of you. It's not out there. It's inside of you. It's surrendering up into that light. You also have the spider spirit. Make your dreams real. Remember to dream into being what it is that you want. These were just lies that people told you about who you were. They're wrong. You decide. You decide who you are. Other people, that's not their place. They don't get to tell you who you are. Tell spirit who you want to be and what you want to do, and then get into flow with spirit and surrender and allow spirit to put the right people and places and opportunities in place for you. Be open to paying attention. You are connected right into the vibrational energies with the spider spirit. And so allow these things to come into your web, your connection, and vibrate toward you and go, oh, that's the direction I go in. It's really getting in tune with yourself. But right now, this week, it's about resting and recharging. Feel like you're being plugged in and recharging your battery and surrendering to the divine timing of the situation. So this is the moon in Gemini. That happens on Thursday when Mercury goes retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde at 12:59 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then at 5 p.m., the moon enters Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini. But it's in retrograde in Cancer, which is going to make communication very muddled, especially when people are trying to communicate how they feel about something. And so being aware of that and listening, using all of the context clues, the body language, and listening with more than just your ears is going to be really important. And selecting your words. Now, Libra, you're pretty good at this. So selecting your words, though, in a way that it gets the message across in a way that people are willing to hear it. You have hope. Look with new eyes and create the change that awaits you. Create the change that awaits you. Dream your reality and then make it so. And then make it so. The way you make it so is you pay attention to the opportunities that will present themselves, because they will. The rainbow in the sky is the promise of this little butterfly here. I don't know if you can see that. And that field is wide open. It's like you can go in any direction you want to. So, that new moon eclipse is happening at 0 degrees of Cancer. This is the last new moon in this cycle that we've had. It's the last new moon in the cycle. It's also the last Cancer North Node eclipse of the last 18 months. This part where we've been learning to love ourselves, to nurture ourselves, to mother ourselves, to take care of ourselves, so that we are prepared to be able to go out in the world and give that to other people. But first we had to take care of ourselves. We had to heal ourselves. And this is followed up on July 5th with one more eclipse, and this one will be in Capricorn. That'll be the releasing and letting go of the need to satisfy other people's authority, and instead believing and understanding we are our own authority. And we get to decide what is best for us, because we love ourselves enough to do what's right for us. And so this is a lot of very powerful energy. Really do hope you check out that video with the messages for the eclipse, because it was really, there was a lot coming from Spirit. So 0 degrees is powerful when it's on anything, but we have lots happening. So Saturday is the summer solstice. It is the longest day of the year if you're in the northern hemisphere, and the shortest day of the year, winter solstice, if you're in the southern hemisphere. The sun will move into Cancer at 5:44 p.m., so it's the first day of Cancer. The moon moves in, and these are Eastern Daylight Times. The moon moves into Cancer at 2:02 a.m., so like 9 hours later. And then within 39 minutes, they come into conjunction at 0 degrees of Cancer. And that's where the eclipse comes from. And if you are in the southern hemisphere, there's a map that shows it, but it's like the Indian Ocean, maybe the Mediterranean. I'm not sure if it goes quite to there. Over toward Australia, you guys should have a pretty good view at different places. But what this time frame means to you, it is time to breathe out, and I'm emerging into the light with joy and ease. Breathe your way in. So breathe out. So in through the nose, all your hopes, dreams, goals, and wishes. Out through the mouth, all the negative energy, and feel yourself bursting up and out and emerging into the sunlight for your new beginning. This time of isolation is ending for you on a very personal level, but there is a need. There is a need to allow the transformation to happen. There is a need to let go of energy you have about oh gosh, like if you're feeling jealous or envious of what other people have, just that's their gifts that were given to them. You give your own gifts to yourself by deciding what you want and manifesting for yourself through joy, through hope, through love, and with co-creation with Spirit. And so you have adrift in the shallows. Take a few deep breaths and reconnect to your inner peace, and notice the small things and appreciate them. You are emerging. Take time to breathe out. Whenever you feel a little stressed about this whole situation, just sit momentarily and take a few deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You have the gift of neutrality, and this is about balance. And so in through the nose to the count of 3 or 4, and out through the mouth through the count of 3 or 4. Try to keep it in balance so that you balance the flow of energy through your system. If you're really stressed out, then you breathe out a little longer. If you're trying to gather information from Spirit, then you breathe in a little longer. But mostly just focus on keeping your breath balanced for the neutrality of it all. And so balance is at work in your life. The yin and the yang are opposites in the energy, but reside side by side to create the gift of neutrality. And the gift of neutrality is about understanding that you know, what other people say What other people think has no bearing on my life. It's what I think. It's what I say. It's what I do. It's the choices I make. And so stepping back and understanding that they just don't get it. And that's unfortunate for them. But don't let it be unfortunate for you. All right, let's get you a crystal card, which I don't think I did for Virgo. Oops. So you have actually two. I am always divinely protected. I am safe. You have Jet. Jet is the coolest thing. I don't even know where my jet has gone off to. Release anxiety, anger, jealousy, frustration, deflect negative energy, practice meditation on a regular basis, invoke divine protection, and improve the ability to quiet your mind. This is a drift in the shallow waters. This is the neutrality. This is taking time to breathe out as you emerge. This is staying calm. This is allowing yourself to release the anxiety through meditative breathing. There's lots of videos on YouTube that you can find one that you like. You know, there's lots of little podcasts. You can find something that has that, right? Little apps. Okay, so we have pre-night. I accept the impermanence of all things, and I know that change brings renewal and goodness. Renewal and goodness. Your life is about to change dramatically for the better if you will get into the boat with spirit and allow them to take you and not fight so hard to hang on to the old, but allow yourself to push through and welcome in the new. Pretty exciting stuff. All right, I will see you back here. Ooh, this is integrate and accept change, align with the cycles of life, improve mental alertness, and focus on the present moment. Oh, that's all meditation. Okay, so I will see you guys next week when we'll talk about the sun in Cancer and how that will affect you. In the meantime, breathe. Just breathe. And know just how magnificent you are and that you are making your dreams a reality. You can do this. All right? Take care. We'll talk soon.